today we're going to talk about two different leadership styles. And I haven't really heard people talk about this. So I'm just going to talk about it from my perspective and life experience. But we're going to talk about the difference between an alpha and a beta leader from my perspective. If you don't know me by now, my name is Barika. I am from Simply Unique Coaching. I am a leadership coach. And I am here to help leaders who are new to leadership or leaders who haven't been formally trained in leadership on what they need to be successful. I am actually a natural born leader. Every leadership position I've pretty much been given, even when they would normally not give it to people, it was just like doors just always open for me. So I've led more than 18 teams. I led for over 15 years, and I am continuing to work with new teams. Like I think I'm working with about 3 or 4 new teams even this year. So I'm here to share with you what I've learned through leadership and kind of what I have observed through watching leadership. I watch a lot. I'm an introvert by nature, so I tend to watch people. I don't always say things, but I'm watching it and I'm paying attention. Also, as a bonus, I'm going to talk about how a beta leader can become a true alpha leader. If you realize after watching this video that you're a beta leader, then you want to pay attention to this. All right, first let's talk about alpha leaders. An alpha leader is going to exude a certain air of confidence in themselves, and they are going to, I don't want to say protrude, I think that's the correct word, but it's going to like overflow from the inside of them to the outside of them. And so when certain things happen, the alpha leader doesn't need to say things with their words, they just say it with their presence. And a beta leader is very different. A beta leader is actually 9 times out of 10 a person who's actually insecure. And because they're insecure, they're trying to convey this feeling of being confident, but they're really not confident. This insecurity, this deep-seated insecurity is actually the cause of many of their problems. So we're going to look at some of the other things that may happen with this. But the alpha leader is going to have that air of confidence, and that is going to help inspire their team because they feel like they know who they are, they're confident in who they are. And because of that, they don't have to spend a lot of time working on that or trying to make people think they are, because they're like, I am a person who knows exactly who I am as a person. So I don't have to spend time trying to convince people because I'm confident in who I am. So now what our job is to focus on the work, and they're able to focus on the work because they're confident in who they are. Now, beta leader, again, on their side, they are trying to make other people believe that they are good at what they do because they don't really feel like they're good at what they do. If they sit down in deep thinking and maybe if they turn off all the phones and all the technology and all of that, social media and all that kind of stuff, and they just sit quietly with themselves, if they dig deep down inside, they really actually don't know who they are and they don't feel confident in who they are. And because of that, when they're working, they're really trying to like puff themselves out like, hey, I'm confident, but they're really not. And actually it's really interesting too, because you'll see a lot of famous people or people in different respects that kind of on the outside looking in, you're like, oh, they're confident. But when you spend time with them, you're like, you're not quite as confident as I thought you were. And I'm thinking of a current situation that's happening publicly right now, but I'm not going to put my mouth on it. But if you can think of one, you can think of that. Now, assertiveness. So an alpha leader is not going to be afraid to take charge. They're not going to be afraid to make tough decisions. They're going to make their decision. They're going to be able to share and communicate why they made their decision, and they're going to stand by their decision unless some other information comes in that shows that they need to change their position. Because otherwise, they feel very confident about making decisions, and they're not kind of wishy-washy, like, oh, should we go this way or should we go that way? No, they are very, very confident in what they decide, and it might actually annoy people who kind of do that. They're indecisive. Alpha leader is very decisive. Now, a beta leader, they will try to portray assertiveness, but actually it'll come across actually as being hyper aggressive. And they think that hyper aggressive is actually assertiveness, and it really isn't, because the aggressiveness is like, I have to conquer, I have to dominate. But an assertive person just says what they need to say. They do what they need to do. And that's what it is. It's like a parent who is confident in being a parent. They can say, hey, I need you to clean up your room. And when I come back, I expect to see it clean. And, the kid knows, okay, I need to do it. But then when you have some parents and they're like, oh, I want you to clean your room. And when I come back, it needs to be clean. Okay. Like the kid can tell the difference. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. If a kid can tell a difference, if a pet can tell a difference between an owner that means business and an owner that's just like, oh, I don't know if I can control my dog or I can control my team. Like, oh, sorry, I was talking about aggressive, right? So with that beta leader, they might also be, hey, you need to clean your room. And they're doing too much. They're doing way too much. An assertive leader can just say it, and that's it. An alpha assertive leader will just say it, and they mean what they say. And when they come back, if it's not done, then there are going to be consequences. But that beta leader is going to be hyper aggressive and loud and boisterous. And it doesn't take all that. It really doesn't take all that to be effective. Okay. Or they're going to be passive. And just like that first example I used, or that other example I used, and they're like, oh, can you just clean your room? Or can you please complete this report for me? I would greatly appreciate it. And they're not competent or whatever, like I said before. Or they may say, oh gosh, well, I see you didn't complete the report. Passive aggressive. No bueno, no bueno. Okay. So the assertive leader just says, hey, I need you to complete this report and let me know when it's done, but I do need it done by 5 o'clock tomorrow. Okay. But if you finish it before then, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you at 5 o'clock tomorrow with the report in hand. Thanks. And then they go off confidently because they are confident that that employee is going to do it. And if that employee doesn't do it, they already are aware of, okay, there's going to be a consequence, whether it's a write-up, whether it's a meeting, whatever needs to happen, you lose a particular job task or whatever for that employee. They already they've got it and they know they've got it. An alpha leader is going to be a visionary. They're going to have a clear vision and they're going to have a clear understanding of where they are and where they want to take their team and their organization. They are big picture people and they are going to focus on getting to that goal and helping the team get to that goal. And because they're secure in who they are, they're not focusing on themselves and how their team thinks about them. They're focusing on, hey, our team needs to get to point polka dot. And we're at point B. So how do we get from point B to polka dot, right? That's what they're focusing on. Whereas the beta leader is going to be focused on how people, they feel like the spotlight's always on them. And really, they're kind of self-absorbed, but not self-aware. Okay. So they're self-absorbed, thinking about how other people see them or perceive them, but they're not self-aware of how they actually appear to the other people. Because if they talk to their employees or to their coworkers, other people are going to be like, not so much, And what a beta leader, when they're focusing on themselves, they don't realize that it's actually counterproductive because they're not helping the team. They're focusing on helping themselves. And the more giving you are as a leader, as far as being willing to help your team and help them move forward, the more you're going to be able to get out of your team, the more results you're going to see. And the person who's self-absorbed, self-obsessed, focusing on themselves, me, teams are going to be able to see through that. And they're not going to want to help a leader who is focusing all on themselves all the time. Competitive. Now, this is interesting. So an alpha leader is going to be competitive and they're going to embrace competition and they're going to strive to be at the forefront, pushing themselves and their teams to excel. They're going to be willing to be competitive, but it's not a competitiveness that is a damaging competitiveness. Now, the beta leader, on the other hand, is going to be too competitive to the point that they're willing to steamroll over anyone and anything at any time because they're focused on themselves. It's all about them. It's all about them. It's all about them, right? And when it comes to this type of behavior, again, it is actually counterproductive. They don't realize this is actually working against you. Like you focusing on yourself so much because of your insecurity is actually working against you. I want to know, have you had an alpha leader before? Have you had a beta leader before? And what is there else that you think that I should add to this list? You can let me know in the comments. And as the bonus, remember I talked about how a beta leader can move from being a beta leader to becoming an alpha leader. So if, as I went down this list, you're like, ooh, I might possibly be a beta leader. What's going to need to happen is you're going to actually have to deal and put your finger on that insecurity. So it may take going to counseling. It may take doing some reflection, doing some meditation, doing some deep diving. Sometimes it can be something from childhood. Sometimes it can be a situation. Maybe you dated someone and they made you feel bad about yourself. And then from there, you've had an insecurity that you really don't talk about, but is being carried into other areas of your life. It could be a family situation. It could be maybe something that happened at school when you were younger or at college or whatever, or maybe you worked at this work environment and you were bullied in a work environment, which sadly does happen. And that can place an insecurity on you. So you have to pinpoint where that pain point is and then acknowledge it, do the work to heal from it, because, you may have to talk to, again, a counselor or a therapist or somebody who can help you work through that part. And then once you do that, once that wound gets healed, then you're going to be healthier and you're going to perceive the world from the proper perspective, because right now you're seeing the world through a filter. That's not correct. And because you're perceiving the world through a filter, you're filtering everything through this insecurity, and it's just really working against you. But once you deal with that and you feel more secure as a person, then you are going to do amazing things. And I believe in you. So with that being said, Make it a great day. Make sure you check out my leadership playlist. Also, get my free new leader checklist in case you want to see, hey, where am I on the leadership spectrum as far as having my foundation? Do I have all the elements in place that I should as a leader? And with that being said, make it a great day. Take care. Bye.